Hello, welcome to this Megaport Live Tech Drop-In. My name is Paul McGuinness. I'm Head of Solutions for Europe, so I lead up a solution architect team here in Europe who works closely with customers on their network designs. Megaport, as many of you, if you've been watching the series of these videos live or on YouTube, will know that Megaport offers a network as a service, so allowing users to connect to services from all over the world at any time from anywhere. We offer this as a deployed network inside over 1,000 data centers now around the world, and the control of what you provision is done through the Megaport portal or through Megaport APIs. So it's nice and easy for you to manage. You can do that through automation or through a portal as you require. We allow you to connect at scale, but what we're going to talk about today is Megaport's network ecosystem. So we have all types of different connectivity options. Like I said, we're connected in over 1,000 data centers globally. So that allows you to meet us in multiple different data center providers, over 100 different data center operators. So you can connect in the data centers that you're already in with a simple cross connect. We then, of course, have the very popular cloud connectivity. We've got the most private cloud on-ramp connectivity options of any NAS provider, so allowing you those connections into AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle, etc. And then within our ecosystem, we have network operators, service providers. They're already connected, and we'll look at some of those and some examples a little bit later. We have different types of platforms, different uh, SaaS offerings and PaaS offerings that are already connected to our network, and they're ready for users to consume those in an automated way. And then we have over 2,600, enterprises, customers who are connected to us as well. And all of this and these different elements may be connected together in an almost any-to-any type scenario. And we'll look at how that is possible in some later slides. We'll also jump into a quick demo of what that looks like. We also have internet exchanges, so that's a place for you to peer with other people on the Mega IX. Okay, so at a glance, summarizing, giving you some of the logos of those connected to the Megaport network. We have lots of enterprises, all the major clouds are connected, many different data center operators, over 100 of those. And then we've got service providers within the Megaport marketplace, including Cloudflare, Wasabi, Cisco WebEx, for example, or voice services from RingCentral. And then we've also got lots of edge providers allowing you to do virtual routing, virtual firewalling, and SD-WAN solutions as well to allow you to connect all of these elements together. So that could be Fortinet or Palo Alto firewalls, Cisco or Sixwind virtual routing, for example. So the different types of scenarios that we have to connect all of these providers are laid out here. So you can do data center to cloud. You can connect from one cloud to another cloud and have firewalling or routing between those clouds. You can connect from data center to data center at really high data rates up to 100 gigabits per second in any of the 1,000 data centers that we can be reached from. We can do virtual edge, where you can put in those points of control and create virtual connectivity hubs, employing and allowing you to distribute functions like firewalling, like SD-WAN hubs, or virtual routing in over 100 locations around the world. And then finally, we've got the ability for different parties to peer with each other in our many internet exchanges and internet exchange partners that we have around the world. So what does it look like? We'll go through the steps on the next slide, but if we give you a visual picture of what that looks like, in the center, we have all of the different examples of all of the different parties that are on the ecosystem at the moment, from DC providers to AI exchange. We've got financial services exchange. We've got a voice and video exchange on there as well. And if you're an end customer, the way that you reach that is by connecting to the Megaport network. Now, that could be across the internet. using a secure IPsec tunnel. It could be by meeting us in one of our data centers through a physical port so that you do a cross connect to Megaport. Or finally, it could be by connecting from a cloud provider that you're already in and having a private interconnect from that cloud provider to the Megaport ecosystem. Now, doing that connection from the cloud, we've got all of the interconnects already in place, so you just have to provision those services and then you can immediately connect to the parties on the Megaport ecosystem. From a partner's point of view, on the right-hand side, it's a similar story. You can connect over the internet, meet us in a data center, or connect to us through cloud as well. Lots of different options there. But at the moment, we have many different partners already connected. So from a customer point of view, they are already existing, and you just have to go through the following steps to get connected to those partners. So if you're a service provider, all you have to do is sign up for a Megaport account. You create a marketplace profile, which is quite simple to do. And then you engage with your customers, your partners, your suppliers, etc., and work with them to process the requests for interconnects. So you agree on the commercials with that party, and then you're able to connect with each other in a seamless way. It also means that you're on the marketplace, so you're there for others to explore and see that you are there, and they can reach out to you and request a private connection to you at high data rates and low latency if they wish. From a customer point of view, quite similar. Again, you sign up for a Megaport account, you go into the marketplace, look through the marketplace for the services that you want to consume, those you want to partner with, your customers, your providers, and you can then just request an interconnect from them, and you can connect through the marketplace, agree commercials with them, and the other way to do that is then with a service key as well. So two different methods, through the marketplace or through a service key. And I'll demo the way to connect to a customer through a service key in a few minutes. And then finally, when you agree those commercials and do the connectivity process, you're then immediately connected through to that party. And it's not just connecting to one party. You can build up an ecosystem of multiple different parties. So if you have 4 or 5 suppliers or 4 or 5 partners who work closely with each other, you can all agree to connect across the Megaport ecosystem to each other, just exchanging some service keys, and then you can set up those connections. You can set up some virtual routing between all of the parties as well, and you can agree how what that network looks like. You can work with my team of solution architects for that as well to come up with a design that will work for you. Okay, so we're going to do a demo to show you what that looks like and how to create the services using a service key. A fairly simple demo, but let's just look at what we're going to do. So if you have a port in a data center, so let's say this is your port, you could create another port anywhere in the globe, and you can connect those together with a private virtual cross connect. So that's an immediate connection between your two ports. It's quite simple to do through APIs or through the portal. So that's fine. If you own both ports, you're connecting those with a private VXC and it's easy to do. But what happens if you've got two different parties and you want to connect those together? So you've got customer A, they have a port, you've got customer B, they have a port. You can still create a private VXC, but in this case, you need to use a service key to make sure there's the right security protocols in place and you're following procedures there. So it's easy to do. Customer A in this example is going to create the key. They'll send the key out of band to customer B, and customer B will use the key and create the VXC back to the port of customer A. And customer B in this case will pay for the virtual cross connect because they are the ones doing the ordering. Okay, so let me just come out of presentation mode and go into my portal account. So I'm just filtering out the other services in this portal account. And what we have here is a port that I've already created in Telehouse North in London. and I want to connect to a partner of mine who has a port in Singapore. Now, I can't see the partner's port in my portal because it's their port, it's in their network and their portal and accessible through their APIs. But what I can do is I can take a key that the partner has given me and I can create a connection from my port to them. Now, what the partner did was they just went into service keys in here and they created a key by filling in a few details, just a rate limit on there, if it's single or multi-use, and when it's valid and if the key is active. I don't need to create another key because I've already got one active here. So what I'll do is go plus connection, and here are all the options, all the things that you can connect to this port. But what I need to select is enter service key. So I'll just paste in the key that was provided to me by the partner. And now we can see that I've got my port at the top in London and Telehouse North on the left. And we can see that the partner's port is in Global Switch in Singapore. We can see diversity zones as well, if that is something to be taken into consideration. We can see that the company name of the partner, we can see a maximum speed. So they've put an 8 gig limit on that key, so I cannot go above that. So that allows them to have some control over that. So if I click next, I give it a name. So this is VXC, the service key. We can put in a service level reference if we want, and then we can put in, anything up to 8 gig. I can also put in a VLAN ID for this connection, and that's the VLAN ID on my port on the A end of this connection. I choose the term, and then I click next, and I add that VXC. So now we can see the virtual cross connect appearing under the port. I can review the order, and I can order now. Goes through deploying, and it really is that simple to create a connection to one of your partners. Now, because this port supports multiple different virtual cross connects, I can add lots of partner connections underneath here. Instead of having a port, I could have had a virtual router here or a Palo Alto firewall or a Fortinet device instead as my connectivity option on my side. And of course, the B end can have multiple options on their side as well. But for example, I can add other connections. So I can add Megaport internet here as well. Just use a local internet, put in a value here. So I put in 1 gig of internet. I can add that as a virtual cross connect, and I can have up to 100 different services on this port. And finally, I'll just show you a cloud connection. If we connect AWS as well, and I'll go pretty quickly through this just to show you what that's like. And we just add the details. We add the AWS account ID and add that VXC. So we can see now we have the port, we have the connection to our partner. So it's one account to another account. We've got a Megaport internet connection and we have an AWS connection. And you can continue adding to that. You can oversubscribe the port here as well. And there's lots of different options for that. So like I said, the ecosystem is giving you the ability to connect to other parties. It might be for services like Cloudflare, like Wasabi that you want to consume. Of course, you've got that ability to connect from your clouds as well to other parties. It could be for WebEx or voice services that you need from a third party. Check out the Megaport marketplace for that. But I guess more importantly, don't forget that you can connect to other parties out there. So if you're having conversations about networking to your suppliers, to your customers, you can ask them if they're connected to the Megaport network. If not, both parties, they get connected anywhere in the world using any of the access systems, and then they can use a service key to connect between each other. You can also create your own ecosystem with multiple different parties so that you're creating a private networking function for the capabilities that you need. So low latency and high bandwidth. And finally, I'd just like to bring up, if you want to have some fun time, you can go to 1000.megaport.com and you can play our retro game, which has been created to celebrate the 1000th Megaport enabled data center that we have globally. So I'll just leave you with that, and thank you for joining. Again, my name is Paul McInnes, and I'd love you to hear from you if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn or via email.